Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, the government assures that the country has enough funds to secure needed COVID-19 vaccines to achieve herd immunity. But a lawmaker laments more people are dying in other regions due to the surge and blames the slow and unequal vaccine distribution. And later, is it about time to exempt fully vaccinated individuals from quarantine? Testing czar and national task
Dizon and Cagayan de Oro Representative Rufus Rodriguez join us live.
The national government tells senators in an inquiry that there are enough funds to buy the targeted COVID-19 vaccine supply for this year, but amid assurances that the vaccine supply will stabilize in the coming months, a lawmaker slams the low or slow response and unfair vaccine distribution in the Visayas and Mindanao. Let's go straight to the source of the story. First off, we have testing czar, Dizon. Secretary Dizon, welcome to the source. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Maraming salamat, Pinky. Good morning po.
Secretary, unahin ko na po, you are at De La Salle Green Hills right now?
Yes, we're in Gasal Green Hills in Mandaluyong. Wini-witness po natin ang simula ng vaccination ng essential workers ng San Miguel Corporation. So we will be joined later by Chairman and CEO of San Miguel Corporation, Mr. Ramon Ang, Mayor Menchi Abalos of Mandaluyong, Secretary Duque, and Secretary Galvez.
Ilan ho ang planong i-vaccinate dyan today?
Today po ang target ay 1,500 and tuloy-tuloy po ito hanggang matapos po yung roughly mga 14,000 essential workers ng San Miguel dito sa NCR.
I see. So hindi lang po yan isang araw. Magpapatuloy pa po yan hanggang matapos yung 14,000?
Opo, tuloy-tuloy po. Dalawa po ang site dito sa Mandaluyong, dito sa Gasal Green Hills, at yung isa sa Jose Rizal University sa Shaw Boulevard.
I see. Okay, I'm not sure if I heard you right or if we talked about it. Yung capacity ho ba dyan? Would you know ilan?
Ito pong Gasal Green Hills, kaya po yung 1,000 plus a day. Yung pong JRU, even more. I think they can do 2,000 a day.
Okay, let's move on to kahapon po yung Senate hearing, Senate Committee of the Whole hearing, and it was already assured kahapon, Secretary Vince, that in fact Secretary Dominguez was saying that we could have about 204 million vaccines. So let's go short term first, no, Sec Vince. Sabi ni Secretary Galvez in July, inaasahan po natin over 11 million vaccines. Would you say this is still on target? I ask you this again because if this happens, ito ho ata, kung di ako nagkakamali, ang pinakamalaking makukuha natin sa isang buwan.
Ito po yun. We're on target to receive anywhere between 10 to 12 million in June. So siguro kung makahit tayo ng mga 11 million, ito na talaga ang pinakamalaking makukuha natin. Pero ang kinagandahan dyan, Pinky, is dadami pa yan sa mga susunod na buwan.
Okay, so July, hopefully yon, at may inaasahan pa tayo ngayong June na parating. Let's talk about first NCR. Ano po? The vaccination, yung pong San Juan, sabi po ni Mayor Zamora, halos magkakalahati na po sila doon sa kanilang target. Quezon City, Valenzuela, Pasig, Manila, and Taguig don't seem right now to have a problem with the supply. However, it's Navotas and Malabon ang nagsasabi pong medyo kulang yung pagdating ng mga bakuna sa kanila. Ang Navotas hanggang ngayon na lang ata po yung kanilang supply, at ang Malabon sinasabi nga konti lang yung nabavaccinate nila kasi konti lang din yung supply. What's the plan for Navotas and Malabon?
Unang-una po, no, we want to congratulate all our NCR mayors. They've done a fantastic job. In 2 days in a row, Pinky, we breached 100,000 jobs in NCR alone. Manila, for example, did 25,000 the other day, and yesterday did 26,000. no? And we are expecting Quezon City to do more than 20,000 today and coming days. Lahat po nagtutulong-tulong. Ang mukha po ang San Juan, ang mauunang LGU sa buong Pilipinas na makakaabot sa kanyang 70% target. Dahil po as of today, lampas na po siya ng kalahati. No? Naka 45,000 na siya dun sa kanyang 80,000 plus target. So maganda po ang nangyayari sa NCR. At yung pong mga syudad, hindi lang sa NCR, kundi sa buong Pilipinas, na kinukulang na ng bakuna dahil mabilis silang magbakuna, yan po ay susuplayan natin agad-agad. Tomorrow po may darating ulit na 1.5 million na Sinovac at yun po ay didistribute ulit natin sa iba't ibang mga LGU sa buong Pilipinas para talagang wag nang titigil mag-job ang ating mga LGU.
Okay, but you're taking note, Sec Vince, doon sa Navotas and Malabon kasi nga sabi ni Mayor Toby Tiangco hanggang today na lang ata yung kanilang supply.
Opo, in fact, ang NCR plus 8 ay meron po kaming daily meeting at 8 a.m. Pinky. Nandun po lahat ng LGUs, nandun po ang DOH, nandun ang NTF, para at araw-araw ginagawa namin ng paraan ang lahat ng mga pangangailangan ng ating LGU.
Siguro magandang malaman dito, sir, is paano ho ba yung pag-distribute if there is some sort of siguro proportion, equitable distribution ng mga vaccine on a number of factors, obviously, population and yung kanilang dami ng may sakit o may COVID doon sa kanilang lugar. How do you determine that?
Okay, Pinky, as Secretary Galvez explained yesterday at the Senate hearing, the strategy is a focused and targeted strategy, which is based on two principles. The first principle is we need to prioritize the cities and areas with the highest risk of infection. And those are typically the densely populated cities. The second primary principle behind the allocation is the contribution to the economy. Because as you know, after 1 year, it's been very, very difficult for the economy, not just of the Philippines, but of the entire world. So we need to try and open up our economic centers. This is why the strategy of focus and expand that Secretary Galvez explained yesterday, first of all, prioritizes NCR plus 8. So that is NCR plus the provinces of Pampanga, Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, Cebu, Metro Cebu, and Metro Davao. Those cities are the most prone to COVID-19 risk, and they are also our economic centers. So they are the first priorities. The expansion areas are our other cities, no, such as Cagayan de Oro in Mindanao, Iloilo, Bacolod in the Visayas, and other key cities all over the country. So that is the strategy, and we are sticking to that, Pinky, because that is the strategy that makes the most sense, especially given our problem of scarcity of vaccines.
So, because you mentioned Cagayan de Oro City, Congressman Rufus Rodriguez was saying, and I'm not sure if you can answer this for Sec Galvez, sir, ano po, dalawang beses daw niyang sinulatan si Secretary Galvez in May para magpadala pa ng mga bakuna sa Cagayan de Oro City, pero wala daw sagot. Nangyayari ho ba yung mga ganitong hiling o ng mga government officials na dagdagan yung kanilang vaccine dahil kinakailangan na nila at baka po hindi napapansin ng IATF?
With all due respect po kay Congressman Rufus, he's a good friend and he's such a great public servant, especially to the city of Cagayan de Oro. Sinagot po ni Secretary Galvez ang kanyang sulat. At just to lay down the facts, Pinky, Region 10 has received more than 420,000 doses of various vaccines from the beginning to date. In the last few days alone, Region 10 received roughly about 57,000 doses made up of Sinovac and also roughly about 35,000 doses of Pfizer. So what we're trying to do po talaga is we're trying to prioritize and allocate the limited supply to ensure that our strategy of prioritizing areas that are highest prone to COVID-19 risk contribute the most to the economy, and also areas that are surging right now in terms of cases. Cagayan de Oro is definitely one of the priority areas, and they have received just yesterday, I think, an additional 56,000 doses, 35,000 Pfizer, and about 21,000 Sinovac, and they will be receiving more in the coming days as the vaccines arrive.
They received yesterday 56,000 doses. I just want to clarify that.
Yes, yes. 35,000 Pfizer doses and 21,000 Sinovac. This is for Region 10. This is for Region 10. But Cagayan de Oro, being the center of Region 10, will get the lion's share of those doses.
Okay, so let's clarify that. Yung 56,000 ay para sa Region 10, basically the areas in northern Mindanao. 56,000 doses were supplied yesterday. So, masama ho ang loob. I'm sure you know that nagagalit po si Congressman Rodriguez. Sinasabi nga niya na bakit tila hindi napapansin ang kanyang lugar dyan sa Mindanao. The President, through Secretary Carlo Nograles, already said there will be some sort of recalibration. I think the word was used, recalibration, on the distribution of vaccines. How will this affect, as you said, every 8 o'clock na umaga, tinitingnan niyo po yung datos at yung mga lugar kung saan dadalhin. What kind of recalibration can we expect?
Yes, the recalibration is really meant to address the areas that are surging in cases. So when those areas are surging, then we have to prioritize them. In Cagayan de Oro, Iloilo, Dumaguete, Zamboanga, these are all cities that are surging in cases. Alam mo, Pinky, I think hindi naman sa nakakalimutan, wala pong nakakalimutang area. Pero ang gusto lang po namin sanang ipaliwanag sa ating mga local leaders is that right now there is really still a scarcity of vaccines, but we want to assure them that every vaccine will be distributed as fast as we can to those that need it the most.
Can you say, Secretary Vince, that possibly by July, in the event na dumating yung inaasahang 11 million, ay marami pa ang dadating sa Visayas at Mindanao? Marami pang i-distribute sa Visayas at Mindanao?
Absolutely po, Ma'am Pinky, absolutely. And we can assure Congressman Rufus and all the leaders of Region 10 and all the other areas that are surging right now, the national government is doing everything in its power to not only send vaccines, but to provide all the necessary support for our local leaders to deal with the surges in areas in Visayas, Mindanao, and even in Luzon, even in Bicol. There are some surges going on in Bicol as well.
Just one quick question, because this was brought up yesterday during my interview with Senator Win Gatchalian. Sabi po niya, he really recommends that fully vaccinated individuals do not have to go through quarantine. And he's talking about Filipino tourists and foreign tourists. Palagay niyo ho ba the IATF will soon come out with a decision or will be open to a no quarantine for tourists, fully vaccinated tourists coming to the country?
Yes, the technical experts of the IATF presented to the Senate yesterday, and they are constantly analyzing the data that is available all over the world in order to make these decisions. Right now, I think the major concern of our experts is the spread of this new variant, the Delta variant, which is wreaking havoc in areas such as in countries like the United Kingdom. And we are very concerned about this. So I think they are basing their decisions and their analysis on these new variants, especially the Delta variant. But for us here, the IATF has already allowed our seniors who are fully vaccinated to already go out. So I think that's a very, very positive step. But we have to really look at the data and rely on our experts.
Okay, I will need to let you go. to be able to siguro makabalik na po kayo dyan sa Lasal Green Hills. Maraming salamat. Testing Czar Vince Dizon.
Maraming salamat. Thank you. Please stay safe. Thank you.
You too, sir. Coming up, Cagayan de Oro Representative Rufus Rodriguez tells us about his request for more vaccines outside the NCR Plus area. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Let's now speak to Cagayan de Oro Representative Rufus Rodriguez. Congressman, magandang umaga po sa inyo. I'm not sure, unahin ko na po ito, if you heard the interview with Sec Vince because I brought up your concerns yesterday during the House hearing. Ang sabi po niya, may dumating na daw na 56,000 doses kahapon for Northern Mindanao. Can you confirm this, sir?
Well, first, I don't listen to Vince nor Secretary Galvez anymore. They don't respond to our letters. Yes, we received Cagayan de Oro 35,100. I don't know if the others for other places of Mindanao, but yes, we received 35,100. But I have to be mad at all of them at the Committee on Mindanao Affairs. That's the problem. They react. It is a reaction, not an action. No program, no plan, except now. After the Committee on Mindanao Affairs, led by Chairman Khalid Maporo, DS Henry Wabinal, and Secretary and Congressman Dagook, all of them, we came out strongly united to really demand from the IATF the giving of more vaccines in Mindanao, where high incidence of COVID-19 is present.
Tell us the situation, Congressman Rufus. Ano ho ba nangyari? Because when I also asked Sec Vince, I know you said that you had written Sec Galvez twice. At ang sabi niyo po, you got no response. Ang sabi po kanina naman ni Sec Vince, I asked him kung he knows anything about it. Sabi, sumagot naman po. Could there have been something lost along the way? Palagay niyo ho ba?
No, nothing was lost along the way. I only received supposedly a letter from Secretary Galvez when I was having the interview of the committee hearing already on that same day after I complained in the Committee on Mindanao Affairs. Not true. They did not reply. Secretary Galvez did not reply. Secretary Duque did not reply. Secretary Nograles did not reply. May 12 letters because of the OCTA May 10 report that Cagayan de Oro was number 1 in their list of the area of concern, having a 75% hike in COVID-19. No answer from my May 12 letter based on the OCTA report of May 10. No answer to May 20, my letter based on another report on May 18 of OCTA stating, number 1 na naman Cagayan de Oro, still remains high incidence of COVID-19. So wala talaga yan. Ang answer I received only last Monday after my statements in the Committee on Mindanao Affairs. That is
so
the
tell
record.
us, Kong Rufus, tell us the situation now because Cagayan de Oro City, along with others, I think 21 others, are under MECQ right now. Ano po? My understanding with Cagayan de Oro City, this is an extension of another 2 weeks of MECQ. Ang ibig sabihin nun po, kung tama ako, ay June 1 pa lang ay naka-MECQ na po kayo at i-extend until the end of the month. Is that correct, sir?
That is exactly correct. We are one of June 1, we started the first stage of the MECQ. And then June 15 to 30 is the extension of MECQ in Cagayan de Oro City because it continues to rise as reported. And so therefore you are correct there. And in Mindanao, 11 places are in MECQ. Cagayan de Oro, Butuan City, Davao City, Surigao del Sur, Dinagat Island, Agusan del Sur, Dafor, Zamboanga City, Zamboanga Sibugay, Zamboanga Norte, Zamboanga Sur. I memorized this because this is Mindanao. And that is why, mabuti na lang, that's why we have to thank the President. The President already directed all of them to recalibrate according to Secretary Nograles in an interview last Monday evening after we came out with the Committee on Mindanao Affairs, our demand and our complaint. The President ordered the IATF and the vaccine czar to recalibrate. Nung una kasi, Pinky, ang distribution was based on population. Not anymore. The order of the president is to recalibrate, and that is include another factor in the distribution. What is this factor? The risk factor. That those with higher incidence should have more allocation, Pinky.
Okay, so the president had mentioned that Northern Mindanao supposedly had received 56,000 doses yesterday. So kahit papano it gives you, from what I'm seeing and how you're speaking, may sense of relief because of the statement of the president. So so far, in Cagayan de Oro City, if you can tell us, Kong Rufus, gaano ho ba kadaming vaccines na ang inyong natanggap? Gaano ho ba kadami kayo dyan? What is the population of a 70% herd immunity, and how many have been vaccinated so far?
Well, we have a population of 700,000 Cagayanons. No? Now, what we have is that patingi-tingi eh. I have here the records of the recent distribution, no, of the delivery. May 23, only 10,000 doses of Sinovac. May 30, 2,000 doses of Sinovac. June 2, 1,500 doses of Sputnik 5. So if you added this in the past month and up to before the 35,000 yesterday, it only amounts to about more than 15,000. So
13,500.
Yeah, only
Opo.
that. Only that 13,500 from the past since May. So that is the situation that we have. So with that, the problem kasi, Pinky, is that kung sana maaga nila binigay itong mga vaccine, because May 12 pa yung letter ko eh. May 10 yung OCTA statement already. OCTA na UP Research Group, OCTA. If they could have given, you know how many deaths we have since May 1 to June 15? 156 deaths already. So imagine that. And if there was vaccine, Pinky, what would happen is that, yes, even with a dose, like for example, even if you have one dose, you can still be contaminated. But the point here is that scientific study shows if you are vaccinated, even the first dose, it will not be a severe case or critical care case because it will only be mild. So marami sana hindi namatay sa Cagayan de Oro. Yan, and I would like to quote them. Secretary Galvez, Secretary Duque, and Nograles for the deaths in Cagayan de Oro. It would have been like that big. 156 already.
Okay, meron pong sagot si Secretary Roque hinggil dyan, but I need to take a very short break. The source will be right back.
Maligayang araw ang oras ng pagdating.
Maragondon kasi kilala siya bilang Bamboo Capital of Cavite.
Itong pandayan na ito, ang pinakamatagal na rin sa sugal na ito.
Dito sa pagkain na to, nakikilala lalo ang Cavite.
Ang mga tahong po ng Bacoor ay sabi ngayon masarap, malinamnam.
Malaking tulong ang infrastructure kasi binibridge niya yung mga tao, yung mga communities.
You're watching the source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our guest today, Cagayan de Oro.
Rufus, when Secretary Roque was asked about this, ang sabi po niya, these are some of the statements the Secretary made. Sabi niya, ang datos ang nagpapakita na kaya daw nagka-surge sa ilang parte ng Pilipinas, sa Visayas at sa Mindanao, ay kasi hindi nag-ECQ o hindi nag-NECQ. At talagang bumaba daw yung compliance with minimum health protocols. And let me add this other statement. Ang sabi po niya, ang pagkalat po ng sakit ay hindi po yan dahil sa kakulangan ng bakuna. Yan po ay dahil bumaba ang compliance with minimum health requirements. So, does that make sense to you? It's not just the vaccine. It's also non-compliance with the minimum health requirements.
Yes, there are always people in any locality who will not follow the rules of social distancing and the others. But vaccines have a lot to do on preventing deaths. And I think Secretary Roque knows that because he was also interviewed and he said that it's not true that there was neglect of Mindanao. And I insist, there was neglect because Mindanao had been hit since May 1 and it's already June 16 now. But he said towards the end, Secretary Roque, that the President has already ordered more vaccines to high incidence COVID-19 places. So vaccines have a lot to do with deaths. If we have more vaccines, it will only be mild cases for those still contaminated with COVID-19 if they have at least one dose.
Is told to us the vaccines can protect us up to a certain level, which is what is most important is hindi ka abot doon sa severe at critical. Yun po yung bentahan ho talaga ng vaccine. It's not foolproof, di ho ba? Pwede pa rin tayo mag-COVID pero hindi ka nadadating doon sa malalang sakit. So with that, just as a last question, may dumating na po kahapon and surely after the President's statement, recalibration, more should arrive in Mindanao. What is Cagayan de Oro doing siguro, sir, para naman po ma-increase din, because also very important is to follow minimum health protocols?
Well, first, as to the vaccine, the giving of vaccine, it's doing very well. The city of Cagayan is doing very well. We have already our vaccination sites and so forth. But still, our plea is number one. All Cagayanons should get their vaccines. That is, we appeal to them to get the vaccine. Secondly, as stated by you, Pinky, there can still be contamination of COVID-19 if there is contact. So we ask our people in Cagayan de Oro to really observe the rules of the MECQ. And that is social distancing, transport will be only about 30%, closure of the recreational places, for certain churches, also 30%. So we ask our people to follow the rules of the MECQ and have themselves vaccinated, Pinky.
Cagayan de Oro Representative Rufus Rodriguez, sir, take care of yourself. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Thank you very much, Pinky. Thank you for the interview. Daghang salamat.
Daghang salamat. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.